G'day champions, a little curious little error on this custom Hiwatt 100 DR103 head. It came in for just a weird sounding distortion. Then once I fired it up on the scope, it was not just the sort of intermittent clipping that would happen at high output, but the signal looked terrible as well, and it did sound pretty rough, pretty reedy and strange. So careful tracing of the circuit. First, you know, check thy voltages, and some stuff around the phase inverter was a bit out of what you would expect. And disconnecting the negative feedback, little purpley grey wire there, made it go away, made the signal look cleaner. So there was, well, it still wasn't great though. So I traced it down to a bit of a factory error. In the tail, you've got two resistors there in the tail of the PI. You've got a 2.2k on the left and a 22k on the right. They were the wrong way around. There was a 2.2k on the right, well, I've swapped them around now, and a 22k on the left. So the tail of the PI was making it biased incorrectly, because this is a strange phase inverter, not a very common one. It's part of the Hiwatt sound. It's got actually fixed bias on the phase inverter. So that was throwing the whole works out. So it's interesting to know that the QC process at Hiwatt does not involve listening to the amplifier, double checking the values in the amplifier, or looking at the signal on the scope, because it would be pretty evident that there was a problem. The only thing that worries me more is maybe they didn't have any red flags because they've all gone out the same and they've just considered, well, that's just how they are. Maybe they had a typo on the layout that they're all following. Don't know. I'm sure I would have, well, I'd imagine I would have heard of the issue by now if that was the case. But yeah, maybe a good idea to check those two resistors in the tail and make sure they're in the right order. So here's the waveform with the values the wrong way around as it left the factory. You can see the phase inverter input up there and the speaker output there down the bottom. And here's the output of the phase inverter on the non-inverting side. Ooh. Looks a little bit chode like there. And here's the output on the inverting side of the PI. So yeah, some crazy stuff going on. Alright, so that's them switched over into the correct configuration. It's a little bit sad that you've got to do this to a brand new amp. I mean, the warranty repair on this at the moment, I'm not sure anyone imports these into the country. We're sort of in an in-between period, a limbo period with Hiwatt. That may have changed recently, I'm not sure, but last time I checked a few months ago that was the case. I'm not sure they've even got any authorised repair centres out here. I don't know, I'd have to look into it, but yeah, definitely sending something like this back to the UK would not be an option. To just, you know, if they didn't pick it up during production, they probably wouldn't pick it up after the fact either, so, you know, that's what I'm here for. And you can see that 82k plate load there is a bit discoloured because they've been biased by basically going through the 10k feedback resistor and then through the secondary, the transformer, which is almost 0 ohms. So it's overheated the plate loads as well. So I'll get some of them on order. I don't have any 1 watt carbon films. It'll look like Zcons or something. So I'll get some of them on order and chuck them in when they turn up. At the moment it's measuring within tolerance, but just to avoid future problems and whatnot. Alright, so here we're looking at the phase inverter input and the speaker output on the bottom trace. You can see that is much more balanced, no weird distortion. You push it hard, you're going to get some crossover, yeah, blah blah. This has got 2 of the 4 valves removed for 50 watt operation at the customer's request. But everything's behaving much better. And just for completeness, here's the inverting output of the phase inverter and the speaker output on the bottom. It's a good idea to check out your Hiwatt and just make sure they weren't asleep at the wheel on your one too if you own one. Well, we're all dressed up and everything, nowhere to go. We may as well do some little sound samples, champions.